Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Sunday afternoon here, everybody. I'm not dressed up for any particular reason. I have just suddenly discovered, since going through my wardrobe, clothes I haven't seen in a while. I think I got this last year. I seem to recall it was like 10-15 euros from the local Chinese shop, and I've also cleared a lot of space, and I've got a proper area for hairbrushes and like everything. It's all starting to form a plan. Right, today's video is very, very much about how I believe Prince William has unleashed the hounds finally on Meghan. And I don't know if he's going to unleash the hounds on Harry, but Meghan for sure. That's the evidence that I see before my eyes. And there was a puff piece that I saw. I forget which publication it was in. It wasn't Five Friends. It was another one. And it was along the lines of, and I'm certain Meghan's people wrote it. Right, that was my sensation. It was along the lines of, Meghan refuses to apologise to Princess Catherine for all the horrible things she's done and said, because Meghan will not, you get this, it's just incredible. Meghan refuses to return to the royal family until she is of the exact same status as our future queen. The future Queen Catherine. Meghan will not return until she gets an apology from our future queen. I hope you've got a pen and a notepad, because I have. And I read this thing a couple of nights ago and I just dismissed it. I just thought, this has been written by Meghan's people. And obviously the situation with her father goes from bad to worse to worse to worse. Shall we go through Meghan's, I mean, just while you're all recovering from that ludicrous statement, because, I mean, ain't never going to happen, and hell's is not going to freeze over. Sorry, Meghan. Sorry, Megsy. Sorry, Megsy. Nope, that's not going to happen. And there are some nasty, nasty stings in the tail in this video if Harry and Meghan's people ever watch it. They might want to cover their eyes and ears for this one, because there's a body blow coming for Meghan in this video. Right, so as we all know, poor Mr. Markle is in hospital, having had his left leg amputated in a life-saving operation. So let's go to Meghan's PR and her people. I love the way they say Meghan's people. I'm under the impression they're both skint and nobody works for them. So I think by people, they might mean Harry, because these ideas and this PR strategy, I think, is fresh out of Harry Windsor's book. Plan A. Find out if it is true that her father has had his leg amputated and if he is really in hospital. Now, I can't really criticise her for that, because an estranged daughter, through her own fault, I add, hears this news. I think that's not an unreasonable thing. I think most people, considering the bad blood, and I dare say there's mistrust left, right and centre from the Markle family, and vice versa. I don't think it's unreasonable for Meghan to want to make inquiries to find out what exactly is going on with her father. What I do find extraordinary is that she told the press. That's what she's doing. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Alleged amputation. Wow. Number one gaffe. So that was plan A. Plan B. Deny all of the above. That appears to have been the next thing. I'm sure she's getting her advice off Harry, or maybe her cat, or, I don't know, a 2-year-old down the road, or, I don't know, some escaped imbecile from the local lunatic asylum known as Meghan Markle. Yeah, deny it all ever happened and try and drown it out on Instagram by thinking happy thoughts in another direction. Now, there's this thing on Instagram I'm sure you're all familiar with. I'm not so much. Instagram Reels, where when you open Instagram, you know, it just goes on to Reels. And because I hardly ever use it, and the only thing I check is that as ever shit, or her Insta, I generally get the as ever Reels, which appear to me to be allegedly Meghan's customer base and fan base who have bought her shite and sort of video it in their kitchen or with a Christmas tree in the background. And I don't know if she pays people to do this or if there are actually sad people out there who do it. But one of them quite amused me because it really sort of conjured up the calibre of person that follows this silly cow. It was like images of her jam or marmalade or something and a pear that had been cut in half and smeared, slathered with this horrible looking marmalade crap. And it was accompanied to a song which would appeal to 3-year-olds. I tried downloading it and YouTube said, no, there's copyright. I guess it's really popular amongst 3 to 5-year-olds. If you think Frere Jacques, that song, it's kind of that, it's very much that tune. And the lyrics, so I'm not going to sing it for you, but I'll just give you a rough idea. The lyrics are something along the lines of, well, actually, that I wrote them down because they're fairly simple. So this is depicting Meghan's marmalade. This is the height of sophistication. I'm teardrop shape. I'm red, yellow and green. I'm in pies. Oh no, in pies I'm packed. In trees I'm seen. Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? I'm a pear. My name is Pear. That is her fan base. Babyish, unsophisticated, simple-minded, some might say. Perhaps oblivious souls who wander the planet, who have no idea what the fuck they're doing or what's going on. A bit like the gentleman that was, is it like a Meghan Markle fan who was on, I think he was on GB News with Carol Malone. He seemed oblivious to certain things. He seemed oblivious that the king went in for a prostate checkup in the first place. What? I thought we didn't know what sort of cancer the king had. No, it's not prostate cancer. He went in for a prostate checkup. That's how they discovered the cancer. Oh, no one told me. But the really hilarious part was Carol Malone saying Doria Ragland was in prison and that's why she was missing during Meghan's childhood. This guy had never heard this before. You do what? Do what? She was what? Where? When? No, I mean, I don't know if she was or not. So this guy, I can just see this guy. I'm teardrop shape. I'm red, yellow and green. In pies I'm packed, in trees I'm seen. Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? I'm a pear. My name is Pear. That's the calibre of cretin or oblivious fool that follows this woman. Right, so we've got plan A. Find out if it's true. Try saying no, he didn't have his leg amputated. It's all a lie, apparently, to get at Meghan. Plan B, deny. Plan C, lie to the press and say she's reached out to her father, which it doesn't look like she actually did. There's another part to plan C. Go to some creepy paparazzi called Carl Larson and ask him to upload a video on his YouTube channel, which I think has about 54 subscribers, saying it was all his idea and he persuaded Meghan. He films this monologue in Santa Barbara. He says, oh, I'm filming a wedding. Meghan's not really the cameraman. I'm not really with Meghan. Yeah, so he's filming this in Santa Barbara. This awesome gentleman, I'm sure you'll all agree, who I think worked with that Jeff Rayner who set her dad up in the first place. And then he goes on to claim, oh, I had a YouTube channel with Thomas Senior called Remarkable Friends. I think we all remember that. Now, this guy popped up on my feed because I knew he'd set up a new YouTube channel. And at that time, I must have subscribed to it. I must be one of the 54 people who subscribed to it. So he pops. And it's had like, I don't know, 100 views. So he says, leave her alone. He brokered the peace deal. Carl Larson brokered the peace deal. He's so wonderful. He's so kind. Such a Christian man. And it was all his brilliant idea, although he does give credit to Tom Jr. Oh, he's so magnanimous. He must get it from Meghan and that Jeff Rayner, these lovely people. And he says that now he's brokered the peace deal, Meghan has reached out and been in touch with her father, which, sorry, Carl, I don't think she has, because a lot of people have checked and it's horse shit. It's all, he negotiated this all. Meghan has reached out to her father, and now is not the time for recriminations. Now is not the time for planet Earth to breathe fire all over this bitch who won't go to her dad. Now is the time to let bygones be bygones and allow these two human beings to rekindle their love and their relationship, father and daughter. Oh, Carl. So that was all part of Plan C. Yeah, that went down like a bucket of sick. What's Plan D? Oh, Plan D. Get regular press pets and journalists, little pet journalists, those that toe the line still, to attack Tom Jr. and declare what they believe is appropriate grief, anger, and a whole sea of emotion that I'm sure he's going through, having found out that his father's had life-saving operation and has lost part of his leg. Yeah. I think that what we really need right now is a load of judgmental social media people, and people who apparently are professional journalists that the rest of us must look up to. Yes, they are the judge and jury, judgy much. They decide what is and is not appropriate for Tom Jr. to upload on his own YouTube channel. Now, if people don't like what he uploads on his YouTube channel, don't fucking watch it. But don't then go on to earn clicks and likes from it by saying, oh, Savannah, I'm such a perfect fucking human being. I'm going to cast judgment asunder on behalf of my mistress, Meghan fucking Markle. It's all right, guys. I'm trying to hide my disgust at these people. These grovelling fools at Markle's. Markle pennies. Meghan, I'll never get in with the royal family. But you're the tart that married into it. Please, can you help my journalistic career? Plan E. To pay commentators to try and liken Meghan's plight with the royal family, the bad royal family that won't let her. Poor Meghan. Oh, my left eye is swelling up. And to say that, to try and compare her situation with the royal family and why they don't want a fucking part of this bitch who goes around destroying people's lives and families. These commenters, and I've seen a few of them, are trying to liken that to this multimillionaire who's perfectly healthy, there's nothing wrong with her, to her impoverished father living in the Philippines who's having a horrendous time with his health. They're actually going there. They're actually going there. Oh my God. So that's Plan E. Oh, there's a Plan F. Oh, now they want to, this is really sickening. Really, really makes me vomit. Again, let's get back to the pet journalists. We've got the pet pap. Oh, Carl's come out swinging for her. I'm sure for his own benefit. To get pet journalists and other pets in media to say that Mr. Markle is weaponising his amputation. Yes, you heard that right. Did he have his leg amputated on deliberately to fuck Meghan up? To thwart her? I don't think so. I don't think so. Well, I'm going to take a breath after all of that. Aren't you? I'll have a fag. How breathtakingly stupid of Meghan and her advisors. She has no idea. No idea at all. And here's one of the biggest stings in the tail for Megsy. Until the last 48 hours, one of the reasons that I've always gone softer on Harry is because my daughter has always liked him. She's grown up. She's seen him as the foolish Harry, cracking jokes Harry. And although I've run this channel for 6 years, and obviously I've openly criticised both of them, nothing has ever really affected her opinion. She doesn't really care about Meghan and Harry. She's not that interested in them. But if I were to say to her, who's your favourite member of the royal family, she would usually say Harry. Well, Harry, Meghan. I mean, even Meghan, when I first saw Meghan and I saw the engagement interview, I really, really didn't like her at all. I could see what a false, plastic, social climbing bitch she was. And I could see what a catastrophic disaster it was going to be. But my daughter came and said to me, oh, Mum, please give her a chance. And my heart melted for my daughter. So I sort of walked away from it for a bit, and then I could see again things were getting bad. And basically, in the last 48 hours, Faith has had her eyes opened completely and has seen what an absolute bitch Meghan is. In light of the fact that her father died and she would give anything to have another day with him, so would Benji. And my daughter inherited one of Graham's channels and my son the other. Now, last night, they're staying in the house. I'm on the boat. They went home and she messaged me saying how angry and upset she was. And she'd made a video which she did not release. And she didn't release it because she felt it was too strong. I thought it was okay, but she felt it was too strong and too angry. And so she did another video with Braden. And I'll play a little clip for you in a minute. Now, if any of Meghan and Harry's PR people are watching this, or Carl Larson, or any of you dickhead journalists, this is a young woman. This is the target market. And up until now, she's either not been interested in Meghan and Harry, or she hasn't really had an unkind word to say. Well, she downright despises you, Meghan. She fucking despises you now. Had nothing to do with me and my YouTube channel. The girl has looked at how you have treated your father. This is what my daughter thinks of you.
There's no high or hell water would keep me away from Jib when it was Dad's time. The moment those words came out of her mouth, I'd already booked a flight within 8 hours. I was down there within less time than that. Went straight to the hospital, didn't waste any time. So I don't know what her fucking... What the hell she's thinking. Quite frankly, it's a bitch move. She's lucky he's still alive. I know quite a few people don't normally make it to 80. I mean, Dad didn't make it to 80. Wish he would. Wish he could have. But nope. I probably won't make it to 80, so she's lucky he has. And the fact she won't go and see him, it could be, this might not end well, or it might end well. No one knows. And the only thing you can do is go and see your family for it. I don't see her saying, oh, I'm in contact with her, and even if she does, she's fucked on that. She's either going to go down the PDF file route, or she's going to say nothing. But hello, it's Meghan. She can't keep that big trap of hers shut for very long, can she? What's your take? I personally fucking despise her. I could not give a shit about her up until she's done what she's done. I really do not like her anymore.
Bad, isn't it? When young people who weren't invested at all, I mean, my daughter's got no interest in her stupid jam, her chocolates, her baubles, her boring Christmas, her beige Christmas tree. She couldn't care less about any of that, neither could Benji. Ben's away at the moment, so I doubt very much he's aware of any of this because he doesn't follow the royals, he doesn't follow the Markle family. I doubt he knows. It'll be interesting to see. I would imagine he'll probably just dismiss her as a stupid cow. Which, you know, he's like, I don't even know why anybody even looks at her. She's just stupid and boring to young people like me. We're busy living our lives. Or it may be the case that he will have a similar reaction to my daughter. I'll put a link to her channel so you guys can watch the full version of what she had to say. She doesn't, although she inherited Graham's channel, she doesn't talk about Meghan. She's not interested in Meghan. She talks about historical castles, places that her and Braden go. Sometimes she goes live. She's, you know, deep in wedding planning, which is going to go on forever. But she never really talks about Meghan, but this is different. And I would imagine that a lot of people out there of all ages, colours and creeds who've lost parents it's going to bring it up for them. And ain't gonna do Megsy no favours at all, PR people. Are you fucking listening? And as I said in the video before, she couldn't win anyway. Even if she did go, everybody would know it's a PR exercise. I mean, now we've seen plan A, B, C, D, E and F. Now we've seen her squirming, revolting ways of getting out of seeing her father. And notice that my daughter has worked it out for herself. I don't think I even told her about what Lady C had said about Meghan potentially making allegations against Tom Sr. My daughter has worked out the PDF file angle all by herself. And she is ready to really, really hate you, Meghan, if you dare go near that. If you even fucking think of that. You think your rep's in the toilet now? My God. It's in the septic tank swimming around with God knows what. So now, why do I feel that William has unleashed the hounds of hell on Meghan? Well, I think the man's quite frankly sick and tired of her. I think that puff piece the other night was revolting, to suggest that Meghan is in any way, shape or form equal to the beautiful Catherine. I mean, it's a joke, isn't it? It's a joke. It's like getting a dog turd next to the Krupp diamond or something. I mean, it's laughable. Stupid cow. Well, the Doria prison story has reared its head, the rumour. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know where Doria was. I don't know what she was missing. Or I've no idea at all. But it is rearing its head, and it's not just Carol Malone. I've seen it in other places. Not only is that story rearing its head, Meghan's porn film story is rearing its head again. And I haven't actually seen this one doing the rounds for several years. Not only that, Carol Malone, as a lot of you, and I just love that she did this. She's a mainstream media journalist. I think she writes for the Mirror a lot, which is, I'm not sure. You better check that one. I think Carol writes for the Mirror, or does she write? Ooh, I'm not sure about that. But if she does write for the Mirror, then they're a left-wing newspaper, that workers newspaper traditionally from olden days. And although they do have royal correspondents, they are of course in favour of Republican movement. So you'll have to check that one, because like I say, I get so many things wrong and I learn so much from you guys. It's interesting that she's a mainstream journalist and she's going there on GB News, which, although I think it's just a YouTube channel, isn't it? I don't know. I get the impression that's kind of legacy media. Not legacy because they're quite new, but mainstream, you know what I mean? And I see it in other quarters. I mean, all the chicken lily-livered journalists all these years that could have printed about all sorts of things that original YouTubers were talking about. No, they wouldn't go there. Even Tom Bauer, I felt, used the YouTubers' research basically to write a book, and he made a lot of money for himself. Well, good for him. But now a lot more mainstream are looking at the porn video, and Harry did say in his book he had to double check, and he had to ask Meghan if it was true. He obviously thought it was really realistic, didn't he? And I guess he'd know. I'd guess he has seen parts of her that the rest of us haven't. Thank God. Perhaps he spotted a mole or two, or a crease or a crack that he recognised, and he says in his book he felt the need to ask her, is this true? Is this real? I mean, where was Doria all those years? Where was she? And Thomas, as I understand it, ended up positively in debt. I've seen the videos of Meghan as a child. What a spoilt little brat. And the fishing, where he's filming her while she's fishing. He's taking her on a holiday to some lake. And he says something like, oh, you know, well, it's like a really loving comment. And she looks over her shoulder and goes, what a spoilt, ungrateful, nasty daughter. Oh, dear. But it is interesting. So if legacy media had been given the green light, and trust me, MI5 would have known everything about her, and MI6. They would have known everything. And I'll tell you why I know this for a fact. I watched a fascinating documentary on YouTube the other night about Edward and Wallace. And it's basically, this is 100% factual because it comes from the National Archives. And there are documents where MI5 were unashamedly spying on Wallace and Edward. And I mean, this documentary was brought out in 2018. And I'm thinking, how could I have missed this? Well, I must have been busy doing something else. But it suddenly popped up and I watched it. Now, I've always been a little bit on the fence with David and Wallace about being Nazis. I know that they went to Germany, they met Hitler. I saw all the images of that. But I'd always kind of wondered if perhaps David had done it hoping, like Neville Chamberlain, that he'd go and broker some sort of peace deal and become the hero of the day from doing that. I am not of that opinion anymore, not after watching this documentary. I believe that David and Wallace were positively supporters of the Nazis. Positively. The National Archives that these historians had pulled out, it was fascinating. One of the spies was a police officer who had been supplied by the Home Office to protect David and Wallace. So he was there as their protection officer, but equally he was reporting back. Now, I've said that many times about Harry, that if William were to help him out and give him a little cottage somewhere in the Cotswolds, he could provide a protection officer to do precisely that and spy on Harry and report back what the hell's going on. Has he got any other dangerous tarts hanging around him? Is he going to do anything that is going to disgrace everybody? So it was really interesting for me to see that that does actually happen. Also does somewhat justify the late Princess Diana saying she preferred not to have royal protection after the divorce. I'm sure she was well aware of that aspect of things as well. Obviously, unfortunately, things worked out very, very, very badly. But you can see that. And also, David and Wallace, Wallace at one point, apparently, one of these MI5 spies had reported that she had been heard, can't quote verbatim, but along the lines of, the coronation will be a flop and I will give the interview of the century and I will destroy the royal family. I will come back to the UK and I will haunt them. Who does that sound like? Oprah. Doesn't it? So, Wallace was, although we say, oh, she never said a bad word, perhaps she was never given the opportunity. Times were different then. But what really, really shocked me was that they were socialising with a very small select of extremely rich businessmen who were American. And these men were members of a group called The Room. There weren't many of them, maybe only 6 of them. And The Room, this little club, they were all in direct contact with President Roosevelt, who Winston Churchill was desperately trying to get he was trying to get America to join the war because we were up shit creek in Britain. Between the British and the French resistance, and it was a struggle. So part of the Second World War, Winston Churchill was desperately trying to get Joseph Stalin and President Roosevelt involved. And as you all know, America became involved because of Pearl Harbor, the absolute atrocity of that. Well, according to these people, at least one of these people who was a member of The Room and MI5 spies who were present and overheard the conversations, both David and Wallace were begging the president not to go to the aid of Great Britain. Oh my God, that is active treachery. And there's a ton of other revelations I didn't know. I can hear a lot of you saying, have I read Traitor King? I think it's written by that same guy I just did about Andrew. And no, I'm never going to read one of his books. I don't like that approach, if you see what I mean. But I am aware there's a book called Traitor King. But this is National Archives. So this actually was said. As one of the historians said, you know, it's not to say that the reports from the MI5 spies are true or accurate, because they're basically witness statements or saying what they suspect or what, you know, what they've overheard Wallace say. But for me, I mean, I can't imagine why someone would make it up and then have it filed with MI5. So, I mean, it just goes to show MI5 knew everything about Wallace and David. Oh my God, they really did. And that was back in those days. You think MI5 and MI6 didn't know about Markle? Didn't know about her mother? Didn't know about her past? Didn't know what kind of creature she was? My God, of course they did. But times were different when Harry married her. As a lot of people know, the threat of being accused, the royal family of being accused of being racists. I mean, that happened in 2021. And things had already started to slacken up a little bit. You know, the debate had been opened. Before that, you know, 2016, 2017, it was even more of a hot potato. So very, very risky for the royal family. By 2021, when she made the Oprah allegations, yes, it was bad. But a lot of the audience, there were sufficient people like us to go, hang on a minute. And Piers Morgan, of course, saying, I don't believe her. He was actually very, very brave. Like him, hate him, love him. Piers was very brave, because up until he did that, people were literally being cancelled for saying, I've got my doubts. So for sure, MI5 knew all about her. Did you see the look on the Queen and Philip's faces at the wedding? They knew. Like I've said before, they probably just thought, Harry's been a right pain in the arse, let someone else deal with him. I don't think they realised that Markle was going to be as dangerous and damaging as she was. And she became dangerous and damaging because it was a topical subject and because she had fooled the world over this, you know, there was all the Me Too movement, and it's all social media, isn't it, you know, virtual signalling. Putting various flags of various countries up, supporting them, even though most people don't even know where those bloody countries are or what the hell the war's about. It's just one of those stupid social media things, isn't it? And if you don't fly the right flag, whoo, you know, you're going to get shit for it. So MI5 and MI6, they have an extensive file on her. I don't need to work for them. I don't need to phone them up, and I don't need to see it in the National Archives to know that that is a fact. Well, it was the late monarch's decision to not act on it. I believe it's the current monarch's position not to act on it. The future monarch, however, is a very, very different matter, and has been skewered by his brother and his brother's harridan of a wife. And for me to see things like Doria's alleged prison sentence, Meghan Markle's alleged pornographic films being talked about by mainstream journalists who are brave enough not to be pets, to be involved with Plan A, B, C, D, E, F. That, to me, indicates a green light has been given, and God knows what shall spill forth. It certainly wouldn't do the royal family any harm at all. Considering the Andrew scandals, well, it would shine a light on Meghan instead for a bit, wouldn't it? It might even give the entire royal family a really rather lovely Christmas of peace and fucking quiet for a change. Which brings me to Catherine's Westminster Abbey Christmas carol service. Firstly, I thought they all looked wonderful, marvellous. But one of the things I was so grateful for, now I know a lot of people say, oh, this has been timed to destroy something Catherine's doing, or, you know. Well, on this occasion, I was very happy to see the royal family out in public with a stone cold alibi that they're nothing to do with any of this dog shit whatsoever. I mean, not a mobile phone in sight. They're in the Abbey singing Christmas carols and getting about their business. So I was very, very glad indeed. So I think you're going to see some interesting headlines, if I'm right. And I could be wrong. I did also read a puff piece, and it's probably written by Meghan's people, saying that William has no intention of stripping the titles. Well, I'm torn on this one because I can kind of see some logic in this. It's basically the case that the puff piece was making, that William feels that to strip Harry of his titles would, with some of their fan base, their diminishing fan base, gain them some sympathy. Whereas to leave them with the label of Sussex, and I'm from Sussex, they have destroyed the name. The name is, I'm so sorry, others from Sussex. It's just, we're taking one for the team. William is of the belief they will go down in history like the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. I mean, nobody wants that title again, do they? Really, nobody wants that one because it's shameful. And that the sausages, the Duke and Duchess are sausages, you know, kind of let them. Now, it could be written by Markle, that puff piece, you know, sort of kind of like, I dare you, William. Or it could actually genuinely be people who know William, who are of the opinion he's got far more important things to do. And Harry was given a title, decided to shit all over it, smear it with crap all over the global stage, and he can live with that shitty title. And again, I am so sorry to the people of Sussex. You know, I mean, my dad was the Under-Sheriff of Sussex. My mother was, she was leader of East Sussex County Council, and then she was chairman of East Sussex County Council. I was born in Brighton, so was my dad and both my sisters. I went to school in Brighton. I am, you know, take the girl out of Sussex, you can't take Sussex out of the girl. But I don't even, when I look at the Duke and Duchess of sausages, I don't even think about my county. My God, I think they deigned to visit the Royal Pavilion like one time 100 years ago and couldn't give a fuck about it ever since. Meghan doesn't even promote products from Sussex. She doesn't give a crap about Sussex. Anyone out there who, you know, is unfamiliar, like that Dorcas Maximus that was on the GB News with Carol Malone, who's like, I didn't know the king had prostate cancer and he had to be corrected. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Nobody knows, but that's how they found it. I didn't know Doria had been in prison. Oh my God, you know... Are you still singing the Pear song, you cretin? Well, I think one by one, supporters of the Duke and Duchess of sausages are probably waking up. I love how they then pretend to be one of us, like they knew all along. There won't be anybody putting their hands up going, oh, well, actually, I was a bit of a Burke and I did defend them at one point. My God. So I am of the opinion, I mean, as a lot of other people have said, a lot of you guys have said, I see a lot of commentators say, this is the death knell for Meghan Markle. She is in it's like she's painted herself into a corner in the Albert Hall. And there ain't no way she's going to get out of this. No way at all. There's only one person on planet Earth, as far as I can see, that actually wants to see her, and that's her dad. And if she does go to see her dad, she should go and see him in private. She should arrange a private jet, a medical facility to bring him back to the States so that he can meet his grandchildren. She needs to do the right thing. That's if she's got the money, which I doubt she has. I bet she's fucking skint. Can you imagine the scenes in Montecito right now? Well, I bet they're delicious. And as I have already pointed out, at least my daughter, of a fan base and an age group she was trying to target, now despise her. Same as the rest of us. Well, that's all I've got for today. What do you think? Is William going to unleash the hounds? Because it wouldn't be the first time that the Secret Services have tipped the press off to certain things, given them the wink, the nod, the green light, go for it. Eat her alive. I, for one, am so here for it. I've ordered my own Christmas tree. It's 100% artificial. It's 60 centimetres tall. It comes from Amazon. It was €22.50, so I'm not holding out great hopes. It comes with built-in fairy lights and little balls, so I don't have to do anything to it except put a battery in the bottom. And I'm going to put it on the on the counter above where the kitchen is. And I've also bought a little rose gold reindeer thing to go on the Christmas table for dinner for one. I'm quite looking forward to it. I think it's going to be different, but I am looking forward to it. And I'll just sit down and get on. I'm going to do some jewellery making. I told you guys I bought some obsidian, and they come in like bead form, volcanic glass. And I also bought these little Egyptian type connectors. In fact, I think I can show you. Now, where did I put the box? Do you know, I'm not sure I can. I had a box, black box. Well, I've moved everything now. I might have to show you another time. But I'm going to get into making that because there's a way of threading pearls so that they hang nice. I saw a YouTube video on it once, so I'm going to learn that. And I'm going to do some arts and crafts over Christmas. And of course, I've got the novel Casino Royale coming. So I'll have plenty to do and chatting to you guys on the Christmas lives, which I'll start soon. I will start soon. I just want to get this wardrobe done and get a little bit more sorted and get the boats coming on nicely. You know, it's going to be nice and cozy. Me and my 60 centimetre Christmas tree. So you won't catch me doing the Meghan thing going, smell nature. It's so nice to have memories of a tree from generations. Oh, generations to come, Meghan. They're still going on about Wallace. They'll be talking about you a lot harder, a lot harsher, and for a lot longer, you silly cow. As always, thank you all very much for listening. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and may your God be with you.